He's Metz. He's Tass. It's the Metzger Tassoul Show.
Well, look who decided to pop on.
Hello, Mr. Shane.
Hello, Mr. Mike.
How are you, my man?
Good, how are you?
Oh, that's it.
If you're any better, you'd be twins, I know.
We had the best event we've ever done last night.
Well, you must have, because you didn't take my call.
It was phenomenal, man.
Was it really?
Yeah, we had probably 300. Well, I know the count at the door plus the staff. We had probably 380 people come to the event. So if you're just tuning in, everybody,
which they are, because we just
get your families together. Hey, I see Metcalf, Ernie, and Brian are on right now. So good.
Good. Get back to work.
Are you sharing everyone? Hold on. Before we talk about the story.
Yeah. So hey, I apologize for calling last night. After I called, I'm like, oh, that's right, he's at the event. So, anyway, all is good.
It was just, I mean, couldn't have gone better, man. I mean, it's our third year doing a vision real estate event.
Well, when everybody gets on, I'm curious to get your reasons why it was so good. But when you guys pop on, just make sure you drop us a comment so we know we're talking with some people.
No, guys, here's the deal. Listen, if you know me, drop us a comment just so it keeps putting this feed to the top of the feed of the Facebook, whatever.
That's right.
We need you to drop comments.
Yeah.
Please drop comments.
Metzger believes Facebook marketing doesn't work, so if you guys could help us with that, that'd be great.
Come on. I mean, I love how everybody says, drop us a place where you're from, No, we want you to drop comments so it goes up to the top so we get more people coming on.
That's right.
I mean, if we're going to be a family here, if you're going to trust in Maya and Metzger and Tassoul, we're going to be completely transparent. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Costa, Mr. Annable, Mr. Peter Johnson.
Mr. Johnson made it. We were just having a conversation. And he said, hey, are we doing the Metzger Tassoul Show? I said, that's a great question. I said, I think we are.
So we're still sharing to groups, and Perry, the more you share, the more the viewership goes down. So I don't know what's going on.
Hey, why don't you just take a break, get comfortable. Get comfortable.
Thank you, Mr. Shane.
Oh, man.
Oh, come on, guys. It's a beautiful Thursday, and we're going to bring some bad humor to your day, because after you watch this show, the day can only get better. That's a reason in itself to watch the show.
That is a great point.
Mr. Johnson says, put your feet up.
Don't worry, they already are. You can get that gum off the bottom of your shoe.
Gum?
No, I'm just teasing.
I'll have Brian run right in. Grab
That's
that
right.
for me.
Snap.
All right. So I'm glad Mr. Johnson is the only one tuning in today. So that's great.
Right.
So guys, hey, just a couple more comments just to put the feed up to the front of the share sites, please. Help us out here. I mean, we're struggling. Ratings are down. We have sponsors pulling out right now. Our commercial revenue is down. Anyway.
That might be because we haven't aired any of the commercials ever.
That could be it too. So let's talk about the event last night. Let's talk about game changers, and then let's talk about, it's the last 2 months of the year. Do you have a plan?
Right on.
46 degrees this morning in California, mass hysteria. They don't know what to do. They're going to freeze to death. All right. So first of all, yes. So I think a lot of you know, if you've been tuning in, we have a real estate company, and we did an appreciation party with our real estate company last night. And it was just a phenomenal event. We had Tag Team come in and sing, for about 20 minutes, the big whoop, there it is, the Tag Team song. And then we had Color Me Bad.
That's different than the whoop, there it is.
Right, whoop, there it is. Yeah, different. Yeah, Tag Team is the one that pretty much everyone knows, the one that got commercialized. Great guys. And then Color Me Bad was just phenomenal. 100 times better than I would have ever expected. Just unbelievable performers. I mean, they had drummer, keyboard, sax, the dancers, and it was just an unbelievable show. Everybody had an unbelievable time. So that went late last night. We're all recovering, and it was a phenomenal event. So that was awesome. Game Changers, everybody. We had our Game Changers event last weekend. Now, Tass, you could speak to that. How did you feel the event went?
Well, the first part of it, I'm not sure if you know how it went because you couldn't hear much.
That's right.
By the way, how are we doing?
What's that, Shane?
Good. I'm glad to see things haven't changed.
It's better. It's probably at 90%. So there's still a little bit of whatever, but it's definitely not what it was at the first couple of days of the event.
Good.
We'll see.
Well, and look, I think there's maybe we'll use that as a little bit of a lesson, right? Here's the deal. Metz, woke up one morning and couldn't hear out of his right ear, which obviously is scary for anybody, and it lasted for a few weeks. But I think the point is that we just don't know what can happen, in the next minute, and we don't know what can happen tomorrow. And this is why we got to take life one day at a time, man. And we have to stop and step back sometimes and realize, we might. A lot of us, I think it's human nature to think how far we have to go. And we might feel like we're a ways off from that goal, but we also have to take a look back. It's like climbing the ladder one rung at a time and then looking down. We don't feel like we're doing a whole lot, but then you look down and you got to realize how much you've accomplished as well. And so, those of you that made it to the Game Changers, I think everyone would attest we had an amazing time. Just an unbelievable opportunity to be able to network. For me, it was a great opportunity to catch up with clients and just the connections with clients for me, were really, really good. And I've got a connection with all of our clients, of course, but, over the phone is one thing. Seeing people in person, hearing some of the more intimate stories and the things that are going on just creates a deeper connection. And quite frankly, for me, creates a deeper passion on continuing to want to help and really help you get to the next level. Not because it's me doing it, right? But it's because we've been there before and the systems that can get you there. So I think everyone I've spoke to, the clients I've spoke to in the last few days here, that came back from the event, came back, as always, excited, motivated, ready to go. The team members that went with enjoyed it. And I think, look, we always look at, the last event and how are we going to outdo ourselves. And it sounds so cliche, but the team, right? The team in Orlando figures out a way to always make it just a little bit better than it was the last event. So a lot of great things happened, a lot of great seminars and topics, I think, that were very relevant and that resonated with people. And that's really what our goal is, right? It's to elevate the industry, bring us to a whole new level, and continue to learn from each other, right? It's not just about you guys learning potentially from us, but it's about all of us learning from each other. And then that networking piece, like I said, is such a huge piece, because I can tell you, Metz can tell you, any of the consultants can tell you, we can give you stories and tell you the things to do. But when you hear it from other people, and you get that social proof, sometimes that's what you need to hear to take you from where you are to get you to where you want to go. So I think that event was great in doing that and catapulting people, getting people excited for the fourth quarter. We know statistically fourth quarter is, the biggest in our schools, is the biggest revenue in our client schools, the biggest revenue quarter of the year. But it's not about just being good enough. It's about maximizing that success. And I think they walked away with a lot of great things to be able to do that. So that was great.
So that's the topic. We got 2 months left in the year. Do you have a plan? I'd like to ask, it's up there, guys. What do you feel is the most important task you need to do to make sure you end the year strong?
Metz, I got to
one thing. Go ahead, Tass.
Yeah, and as you're putting that in there, I had a call with one of our CMA license schools today, and same thing. He wanted to catch me at the event, and it was the last day, and I was trying to get things taken care of back here, and then we sat down, had a great lunch with Bill Wallace and Paul Wagner, and then I had to catch my flight, so I wasn't able to chat with him. So I caught up with him today, and I said, "Hey, how can I help? What's going on?" He's like, "Well, we set a goal, and the goal was X for the year, right?" And he's like, we're already at this number. And he's like, so I got to reset the goal. So he's done such a great job for the first 9 months of the year that he realizes, like, we got to up that goal now. And I just think that's a really great place to be. It's a testament for people that take action and put things in action in their school and then start to see the results. And sometimes we put that action in and it takes a little bit for the results to start to happen. But I promise you guys, if you do the work and you follow the systems, it will come. And those are great phone calls. Hey, so we have to adjust the goal. I mean, we're not lowering the goal. No, we got to raise the goal. And so we create a good plan to hit an end of the year goal number for him. So that was exciting as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So sometimes people will bail themselves out of challenges because if they do nothing else and they just coast the rest of the year, they're going to hit their goal. And then we're excited and we're happy we hit the goal. No, you raise the goal, right? But also on the flip side, you can't set yourself up or your team for failure either. If you're just missing the mark and you're way off, you may have to reset the goal downwards too and reset. But here's the deal, guys. I'm glad to see everybody's plan for the end of the year. That's great. Tass, why don't you read one of them and then we'll talk about one of the plans.
Yeah. What does it say? Yeah. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yep. There it is.
There you go. And that's so true. Thank you for that, Mr. or Miss So-and-so. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Hey,
a little punchy today.
Participation is helpful in this show, everybody.
Right.
What is the deal? Like, I can't work like this, guys. What is with the 12 viewers today?
Mm-hmm.
We're usually, 40s, 50s.
It just might be too much work to type. That might be part of the challenge.
That could be. People are just relaxed.
There we go. Mr. Landis couldn't take the pressure anymore. I love it, buddy. Good job. Most important task. End the year strong. Holiday sale, holiday event. Very good. Mr. Johnson, improve the intangibles of the school, like culture, via parents as coaches program. Love it. Culture. Man, I can tell you, I could talk about culture, but culture is so important in your school. And it's amazing what a few tweaks in culture will do. And when you feel that 180 turn and you can get that momentum going, you don't know what you have sometimes, right? If you're living here and there's this, right? This is success too, right? Like, I remember someone saying one time, hey, have you ever tried on the whatever rich wealthy lifestyle? Have you ever tried on? Have you ever gone to Ruth Chris?
I wear it every day, baby.
I live it every day. Metzger, yeah. I mean, guys, we'll talk about being humble in a little bit, but not right now.
Not now. That's coming later.
But my point is like sometimes you don't know what you're missing if you've never had it before, right? And that culture thing can be a huge game. It is a huge game changer in your business. Is very exciting. So Mr. Johnson, Halloween community event, which we just talked literally right before the show. He's starving for leads a little bit on the social media side. So he's taking the opportunity with this Halloween event, and he's going to have people come to a free community event, get some people coming to a mass intro, and then he's got a birthday party the following weekend. So we're going to be able to capitalize on some of those things, which I think will be great.
So let's go back. And Mr. Blackman, glad to see you on here now. And Mr. Fry, we love you. Congratulations, Mr. Fry, on joining the family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I won't make it a commercial, but congratulations.
He's always been part of the family.
Yes, he has. So listen, I want to talk about culture a minute, because people are putting on here, holiday events, the most important thing, or massive roles, or parent coaches, some of your comments up here. We have a school here in Orlando that's run by Mr. and Mrs. Mobley, Julius and Michelle Mobley. They run a school. It's over in Orlando. It's here in Orlando. We strive, all of our other schools strive to get the culture that they have in their school. And they have such an unbelievable culture that, for example, when they announce an event or a parents' night out, it sells out within the hour. Like, it sells out, right? And when they were doing summer camps, this is interesting, everybody. When they would do summer camps, they literally would say, we're not opening registration for summer camp until Saturday morning, this date on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Now, listen, everybody, because if you can tap into this culture and understand the importance of rapport and culture in your school, this is the kind of stuff that will happen. They would announce 8 a.m. we're opening up summer camp registration, not a minute early. So if you're interested in getting a spot, be here Saturday at 8. And once we fill up, we fill up. At like 5 in the morning, do you remember the pictures I sent you, Tass? Did I ever send you the pictures?
It looked like Black Friday would be at a store.
It absolutely did. There were people out there in chairs lined up waiting for 8 a.m. to start. They would sell out before they got to the end of the line. Sold, gone in like less than an hour. Their camp would be completely full, done. So then what they did is they said Saturday at 8 or 9 in the morning, whatever the time was, when you get there, you're going to get a lottery ticket. They didn't want people camping out at 4 in the morning or whatever, just sitting there. So now you get a ticket and they'll call your number and they sell out every time. Now, I will be honest with you. Our other schools have never managed to get that level of culture. But we are making it a point right now. And everybody else on here, and Mr. Johnson is saying, my culture killer talk that I did over the weekend struck a chord. It's because we are putting so much focus on culture in our schools, because as interest rates rise, expenses rise, people are holding their money a little tighter. The difference is not going to be how much better you teach a sidekick or an armbar. That's not going to be the difference in your success in your school. The difference is going to be in the culture in your school, the customer service in your school, and the rapport you have with each and every student and family member in your school. How do we train to be better on that? Because if you make that better, everything else becomes better. You want to have a successful holiday event? The culture that they have over at Conway is if they say, hey, look, we only have 30 appointment spots available Saturday, December 1st or 2nd or whatever that is. Once it's gone, they'll fill up their appointments like that. And by the way, why is that important? Because it doesn't take so much effort and work and time to spend weeks filling those appointments. They have such a culture. It's like, boom, done. Okay, now let's go back to focusing on classes, students, and customer service, whatever else. I would encourage all of you to really focus. And if you're an elite member, I would go back and watch some of the customer service and culture talks that we did, the recordings that we did at Game Changers. I know Adam Parman did a 2-hour workshop on a customer service workshop. He only got through half of it. So in March, we're going to do part 2, another 2-hour workshop. And everybody was saying how great it was. Even my own team took the workbook, and we're going to use some of these strategies and train on them, train, because people don't want to leave a place that makes them feel good, period. So if people are getting tight with their money, but not just the student on your floor feels good, but the parents and the people coming in, because it's stressful for parents. I'm working, I got to get dinner ready, I got to help with homework, I got to do this. Like, I got to take them to karate or martial arts or whatever it is. But we want them to look forward, the parent looking forward to coming to class, or your adult student or the child. So it's not a chore. They feel good when they're there. If you can master that, you're going to take your business to new heights.
Now, Metz, I want you to just maybe give 3. Like, this is all great, right? But what are 3 ideas that we can do? But I'm Mr. Blackman, I'm going to disagree with you, sir. When you say culture takes time to develop, I don't agree. I think culture can change immediately if it's focused on. And now, are there aspects of culture that take time? Of course there are, right? But, when you go, and this is I'll give it an exaggeration, but go into any football stadium on a Sunday. Like, you have people that are at home, having breakfast, getting ready, get to the stadium, and are just having normal conversation, to be in a stadium yelling and screaming just like that, right? Culture can change immediately, right? And so, and I know this in my own martial arts school, but it's got to be something that's focused on, and there's got to be things that trigger that culture change. And then the question is, Well, what triggers can you pull to change that culture the fastest, right? And we always talk about having a great floor, and I think we all think we have a great floor, right? But what are you doing different? Like last night, we told everybody on Monday, Tuesday this week, when they come in for Wednesday, Thursday classes, to come in their Halloween costumes. And then when they came in and we were doing these, fun, different martial arts games with balloons, whatever, it was something completely different than what we normally do. And parents were engaged, kids were engaged. I had a parent come up to me yesterday, and because it was so loud on the floors, and we went in the office, she goes, first of all, she looked at me and she's like, she gave me the thumbs up, and then she pulled me in the office and she said, she goes, I have not seen the students this engaged and the parents this engaged in a really long time. And I said, well, ma'am, listen, thank you so much for the feedback. I said, of course, we love hearing that, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate all your confidence and your support in the program. And look, we love hearing the great things. Now, by the way, I use this is part of changing culture. I also use it to say, hey, look, by the way, if you ever see something that you don't like, make sure you come to us as well. We have an open door policy because we can't fix it if we don't know it's broke. But I'm just so happy that you're excited. We're excited. We're really excited for things that are happening. So knowing those triggers to pull, I think, is a big thing. And I think you can change culture very, very quickly in your school if we're pulling those right triggers. And my belief is that starts with a very energetic floor. And we got to remember that those four walls look the same 365 days a year for the most part. And we said it. Metz lives in Orlando. He's not going to Disney World every 5 minutes, because even fun gets boring over time. We got to figure out a way to change it up within the martial arts school. So make sure things are exciting. But Metz, do you have any other, maybe a couple tips on
let me give you some simple examples of how you start changing culture. For example, you guys probably get trained on, or instructors get trained on, praise, correct, praise, right? You want to praise every student, every class, correct, praise them at the end, leave them with a positive, right? And what happens, what I've seen is sometimes it becomes forced because it's a task. Like, I have to make sure, good job, Johnny. Sarah, awesome kick over there. Tony, awesome job. You're doing great. Like, we're trying to make sure we just hit the point, but we forget the reason we're doing it. And when you forget the reason why you're doing it, you become not as efficient at getting the ultimate goal of, Mr. Blackman winning the war, right? Winning the war. And so we're just doing things without thinking why we're doing them, right? We're doing them because we're told we need to do them and it'll help with rapport. But here's a difference in culture. And this is one easy example, and I say this because it doesn't take any effort. If I train all my assistant instructors, my leadership students, my chief instructor, everybody that's on that floor, instead of always yelling it out, which you want to publicly praise, reprimand in private, let's say, but you do want to do that. But if you're walking by a student and you just lean into their ear and say, hey, Johnny, I just want to let you know how awesome you're doing. You are doing awesome. Give me a fist bump, man. You are doing great. And then you move on. I promise that message will get back to the parent.
In the camera, that was a little creepy, I'm just going to say.
Hey, I just want to. My point is why? Well, if you work with kids, first of all, the parent probably will say, hey, what did Mr. So-and-so say to you? Oh, he told me how unbelievable I'm doing and how great I'm doing. That goes so far, as opposed to being robotic by saying, great job, Johnny, good kick. You're doing awesome. Good kick, good speed to it. That's good power. I like that. It's not as powerful. So it's not about what you're doing. It's how do you do it better? How do you make more of an impact? That's one. Number two, we talked about this at the event. You should have a set day once a month. This is just simple. Once a month, for example, we do a Wednesday, Thursday. But let's just say it's the second Wednesday and Thursday of every month. The second Wednesday and Thursday of every month, you develop a culture from the moment you enroll a student. You make the announcements. The second Wednesday and Thursday of the month, parents, we really need you to be here with your kids, because once a month, we're going to have you come out just for 10 minutes and you're going to do some drills with your kids. Well, you get that culture to where your lobby starts filling up once a month, as opposed to parents going and running errands, grocery shopping, not showing up. You build a culture to where you're getting people back in your building, getting the parents involved, having them work with their kids, build a rapport with their child in a martial arts setting. And before parents ever go back and sit down, we will have them partner up with another adult, and we'll have a kids versus adults. But it might be 10 minutes on the mat. And then they go sit, and then they can go shop, or they can do whatever. But we want to build that culture of family. Now, we say it, but you guys know, you're sitting here watching. You know your lobbies aren't as full in your advanced classes as they are in your beginner classes. You know they're not. But why not? And we want it to be, right? So that's just another example of doing something simple that doesn't take a lot of effort, a lot of energy, okay, to do it. The next thing is, don't ever let a class transition, meaning don't let a class end or begin without a staff member minimum, a staff member that is at that front door greeting every single person that's coming in, saying bye and how great everybody did on the way out. I mean, transitions, everybody gets talked to, everyone gets acknowledged. We're constantly building that rapport. So there's your 3 simple things that you can do. Now, somebody might say, well, I'm a one-man or one-woman show. I'm just one person. Have an assistant. At the very least, I don't care if it's one of your advanced students that just says, have a great day. Hey, welcome everybody. Figure it out.
And in some cases, that's even more powerful, having a 10-year-old blue belt at the door saying, hey, thank you guys. Great job today. Like, their parents are like, dang, that kid's got a lot of confidence. I mean, in some cases. So we can either have excuses or we can figure out a way to get it done, right? And that's the difference between a champion, right, and not, is the champions figure out a way to get it done and to make it happen. Now, I don't want to pull back and be negative on this, but I just want to illustrate this point. The parents coming on the floor thing, which is an unbelievable idea, right? But sometimes some people hear this. I got a friend in the Filipino martial arts world, and they talked about putting their rattan sticks in the oven at like 325 for 5 minutes or whatever it was. I don't know the exact, to harden up the sticks. So he thought if he put them in for 400 for 40 minutes, because that would be even better, because more is better. Well, they came out, of course, burnt and brittle, right? My point is that when you hear something like this, he didn't say have parents on the floor every single day, every single class, because that can actually work against you. I mean, I remember when my kid played soccer, and every single soccer practice, I'd have to go. Now, this is when they were real little, but I'd have to go on the field with my son. I'm like, I don't want to do, like, once in a while, awesome. I get to build that bond with my son. But remember, everything's about balance, right? Everything is about balance. And I say this because there have been people that have come to us and said, man, they want me on the floor every single class. I just, it's my kids' martial arts, not mine. And so we've had that happen on a few occasions. So once a month is the perfect recipe to make it fun, make it exciting, get those parents on the floor. And I'll tell you, even talking with parents in the martial arts school lately, I've heard some of the parents talk. I'm like, have you done martial arts before? I said, why aren't you training on the floor? And that would be a great opportunity then to say, hey, next Wednesday and Thursday, we're having all the parents come on the floor. I'd love to see you on the floor and train with your child. So awesome, awesome tips. I think if you're not doing those things, you can make, like I said, either come up with an excuse, or you're going to figure out, hey, I wrote those 3 things down. I'm going to implement that today. Then when that's done and implemented, then you can do the next 3 things. And then over time, you're going to see how this is really going to have a profound impact in your school. I think it was Dave Kovar that said this. When students leave, right? Hey, when will I see you next? And it doesn't matter. Now, I say this, but it doesn't matter what the answer is, right? We're not going to mark down, okay, they'll be on Wednesday, they're going to be on Thursday. But the point is, when they say, well, I'll see you Wednesday. All right, I look forward to seeing you then. Now they've made this mental commitment on coming back to classes. So just by asking that question when you're holding that door open, when the people are transitioning or leaving, all right, hey, great class today. When will I see you next? Awesome. Have a great day. It just gets them and reminds them. We know that everyone that quits has one thing in common, right? They all missed their last class. And that's a great way to get people to come back in the school. So
it's
love
subtle.
it.
Yeah, subtle but good. Mr. Halama, no, do not do that. Remember, this is a call to action. It's one time a year. They got to set the appointment. They got to be there. Then we're going to confirm the appointment. You still got to make it special, and you want people to attend your event, because we also know that people that come to our holiday event We also know for us, the average person, and I don't remember if it was 106 or 108, I can't remember, but let's just call it $110. The average person that even showed up to the event ended up spending $110 on retail merchandise as an average price point. You get 30 people there, you got 3,000 in retail, right? So we want to get people to the event. We want to set those appointments. We want to keep our word. It's the one time a year. Now, if you're a one-man or one-woman show and your event's on Saturday, yes, we got to fill up Saturday. But if I fill up Saturday and I just can't do as many appointments because I'm by myself, or I got to focus on retail, you can start setting appointments the night before. Right. Start doing appointments on Friday and offer it. But no, we don't do that and then try to sell them as we're doing the appointment. I mean, so.
And this is another pro tip. You told me this years ago. You know, we were having a real problem with our parent night outs filling up, right? We just weren't having people show up. And this is something that you guys, or sign up, I should say. So you hear the story of Mobley's having these lines. Part of that's great customer service and all the things Metz is talking about. It's having a great floor. It's people quit martial arts. They don't quit relationships. Like, we can tell you all the things, right? But then there's also strategy, which is involved. And strategy is, okay, well, look, I'm going to open up a parent night out as much as this is going to maybe hurt, but I'm only allowing 14 people to come to my parent night out. That's it. That's it. That's the end, guys. And then when you do that and the 15th person comes to you and you say, oh man, I'm so sorry, it's already full, and the kid starts crying, I know a lot of you are going to want to give in and be like, oh, it's okay, we'll sneak them in, right? Don't do that. Say, hey guys, I'm sorry, but to be fair to everybody, it was closed at 14. But listen, our next one's going to be, do you want to sign up for that one now so you can save a spot? And then it's going to fill. And you're going to turn people away, because we want to take a step back to take 2 giant steps forward. And this literally is a strategy that we used years ago to go. And I think we started literally, that was the number, like 14 people. Then the next time it was 16. Then I think we went to 20. Now we do a parent night out, same thing. Within 48 hours, we will sell all 40 spots of that parent night out. And if they're always gone, they're always sold out.
That goes back to culture. That's creating a culture in your school, because a lot of you will say, we have limited space available, but yes, we'll take one more. We'll take one more. We'll take one. And then people know that. They know. So there's no call to action. There's no urgency. You can't plan as well for certain things. You stress. You work more than you need to. Got to create the culture. And Tass is exactly right when he says you take one step back to take 2 giant leaps forward on that. So listen, if I was going to say, if you have a plan for the end of the year, listen to me carefully, everybody. It's this simple and yet this difficult. Focus on rapport and culture in your school, because you're going to need it next year even more. You're going to need it next year. We have an election year coming up. People always get a little uncertain. The markets get a little crazy. Like, just focus on better service. And if you're saying to yourself right now, we have a great family atmosphere, we're great at service, awesome. You got to be better than whatever you are. So you start making little points. How can we be just a little bit better? How can we be a little bit better than what we are? That would be my focus for the last 2 months. And by the way, guys, I just did a webinar yesterday on November and December, the 2 most important months of the year. So if you tuned into that or registered for it, there's a recording. If you didn't register for that, too bad. No, I'm only kidding. If you didn't, I don't know if there's a way to register and get the recordings. But my point is if you did register, because we had 180 people register for that webinar, you may want to go back and just listen again and pull out some bullet points for November and December, some key things that we got to do. But here's another thing I'm going to say to everybody. If you want to invest, look, December 1st and 2nd. So somebody brought up the holiday event. Mr. Alama, your question is on here regarding the holiday event. If you want to see a live holiday event on how a school can do over $100,000 in 4 hours in revenue, we are doing a Success Mastermind Summit for 15 school owners. That's not building culture. The next year we do it, it'll be 15 school owners, because we're doing it in the conference room of one of my schools. Because the point of this is a 2-day event, Friday, Saturday, and then we let you walk down and see the holiday sale. We let you see it, how it's laid out, how it works, so you can see with your own eyes. Then we go over the details, we discuss it. That's just one part of the 2 days. We have a whole agenda.
You're not walking through it while it was set up, and you're walking, just see it before you're in the holiday event. Literally, you're walking around as it's happening.
Yeah, this is it. This is the agenda for Friday, Saturday. But the cost of this event is $199. So hear me out. It's $199 here in Orlando, Florida, December 1st and 2nd. Only 15 spots. I just got off a conference call with Century Martial Arts with the executive team at Century. Anyone that registers for that event, they are going to credit back, I believe, well, they're 100% they're going to credit back $199 Century credit. But I believe they said, and I'll verify it, I'm just being transparent, I think they're going to give everyone a $299 Century credit, so you can use that extra $100 for your hotel or airfare that you're going to spend to fly here in a hotel. So anyone that registers, and by the way, this is for non-elite members, because elite members, you just had 3 days of seminars. It is not for elite members. These are for people who have never experienced or understand the details of the basics of what we need to do. 15 school owners, it's $199. You're going to get a Century credit back. I think $299 Century credit. And there's only 15 spots, December 1st and 2nd. And if I was more prepared, like every freaking show, I would, if I was planning on really trying to sell this, I'd have the link. Brian, put a link up.
I didn't even hear about that. That's an unbelievable,
No, you didn't. I just got off that conference call, at like noon my time. It was an hour and a half call. So yeah, Century is willing to do that for anybody that registers for the summit.
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to say what I'm going to say, because it's going to sound like I'm overselling it. But that event could have been a $997 event all day long. But anyway, my point is that's an unbelievable value. So I can't imagine that thing is not going to fill up extremely, extremely fast. And now with all the stuff that we've been talking about, people are thinking, yeah, of course it's going to fill up fast. Yeah. But that's unbelievable value.
And by the way, we treat everybody to dinner on Friday night, so that's included, right? So you pay the $199, you get a $299 credit back from Century Martial Arts on your account. You're making $100 on the deal, but you can use that. You have that 100 credit, because it'll help you cover your hotel or airfare. But we have a link. Where's the link? Do we have a link?
That will. It's an unbelievable offer, right? But it's not the $100 extra in Century credit they're going to be getting on top of it. It's the thousands of dollars and the knowledge you'll have that you can do this every December. That's an unbelievable deal.
Oh, look at this, folks. Here it is. So here's the link. The dates are December 1st and 2nd. It starts at 2 p.m. on Friday. We end at 1 p.m. on Saturday. We go 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday. We go 2 to 6 on Friday. That means people can fly in Friday morning. You stay one night. You fly home Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. But again, we can only fit 15 school owners. We can fit 30. But we also know there's husband and wives. So it's 15 school owners, because, and it is $199 a person. It's $199 a person. And Century would credit back $299 towards your Century account for anyone that signs up. So the first 15 schools that sign up will have a spot.
And the first 5 schools that sign up, take action, get to stay overnight at Metzger's house.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's going to say, yes, it's called Holiday Inn.
It's called Frank Silverman's.
Here's the address.
So anyway, December 1st and 2nd. And why? Let me just tell you again why. Why December 1st and 2nd? Because the first Saturday of December every year, we do our big holiday event. And I want school owners that don't believe me, that have never experienced a holiday event, to be able to see it live, see what a holiday event looks like live. And by the way, just to put it in perspective, Mr. Dan Cartan, who was out of Snoqualmie, Washington, who was at our Game Changers event. Tass, do you remember his number for holiday event? 4-hour sale, his deal?
Well, it started with a 2. That's what I remember.
Started with a 2. And I want to say it was over 250.
248. I want to say 248, but that's why I said I know it's over 2.
So $248,000 in revenue, not contract amount, deposited. You know?
Insane.
And there's several people that are doing over 100 now, a bunch over 100. But people don't understand it. They don't believe it. They don't think it's possible. And this is why we started this a couple years ago, where why don't we invite schools in so they could see it for themselves and really understand how it works. And here's the great thing. You come to this event on Friday, Saturdays, 1st and 2nd, you could go back the next Saturday and do the holiday event in your school and make enough revenue, to pay for Elite for a year if you wanted to join our Elite program.
Right. Easy.
So anyway,
unbelievable.
That's it. Culture, customer service culture, that's going to separate you from the rest. You got to put actual focus and training on that. You can't be like, okay, we'll just do better. That can't happen. You got to put a real focus on training, on being better at developing culture and customer service in your school.
Yeah, agreed. And it starts with the team, man. And then it trickles down to the students, right? That's for sure. So, well, listen, we started off a little weak with people jumping on, but a lot of you jumped on. We appreciate it.
And we stayed weak.
And we stayed weak. Yeah. All right.
No, we appreciate you guys jumping on. I wish our industry was more open-minded. 2 clowns on here talking. I'd be curious to see what they have to say. Maybe there's something I can get an idea from. I wish our industry was a little bit more open-minded, tuning in and raising the professionalism and the standards and the business acumen of the martial arts industry.
We're getting there, man. It's a ripple effect. It's slow, but we've been slow and steady, and we've been getting more and more people on board. And I think, changing lives, which is what we got in this industry for. It's interesting. As we were talking, I got a text from a client. He's like, "Hey, sorry for always reaching out when I need something." He's like, "But we're down 20,000 in revenue this month." Now, listen to what I just said. We're down 20,000 in revenue this month, right? And want some strategies and things to do where we can make some things up. And this is someone that came on and they were doing maybe $15,000 a month in their school, 12 to 15,000 when they came on board. Actually took them about 6 months to actually come on board, and now they're doing consistently 75, 85,000 a month in their school, right? So that some of us that's watching don't even do 20,000 in our school. So to be down 20,000, my point is that those are good problems to have, right? And I think we all are going to always have a to-do list and a list of problems, but the key is, can we change those to be better problems, right? Hey, my school is too full. We don't have any more room for students. That versus, why I didn't sign up 8 students last month and we're down to 80 students. Well, which problem would you rather have, right? You got to pick your problem and then figure out how to make it work. And I'd always much rather have the problem of having way too many students, having good problems versus bad problems. We'll just say it that way.
And I'll just say, listen, if you're wearing Kung Fu slippers and you carry ninja stars, you might be able to use our help. You should have saw Shane when I met him.
Yeah. Right.
Going to business meetings, baggy pants, Kung Fu slippers, size, ninja star. I'm like, dude, we're not in the 80s, man. We're not in the 80s. Got to change our approach, change our professionalism. We got to look business. Doesn't mean you're a McDojo when we look business. We are trying to impact a community. We are trying to change lives. You need every angle and every edge you can get.
And just to be clear, the last part was true. The Kung Fu slippers and all that stuff was not. That was a different Shane, by the way.
Yes.
I got a reputation at pulling Mets. I can't have people thinking I was walking around with claws in my hands and swords in my back.
Now I'm going to get hate mail.
Yeah. From all the Kung Fu guys, of course.
Nothing wrong with Kung Fu guys. My mom was a Kung Fu person. My mother's instructor was Cynthia Rothrock back in northeastern Pennsylvania in the 70s. And she was like an aunt to me when I was up until about 5 years old. I mean, she was part of the family, basically. Sifu Cindy, we called her. Sifu Cindy.
That's awesome.
So, but you know, if you're going to go have a business meeting with a principal, don't walk in like that.
Even on Halloween, guys. Even on Halloween.
Anyway, guys.
All right. Appreciate everybody.
I know some of you don't appreciate it. That's all right. Don't tune in like the rest of the industry.
Right. Appreciate you guys and all you kung fu people.
Have a great Thursday. We'll talk to everyone soon.
Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.